Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz. It is April 24, 2019, 11:12 p.m. in Birmingham, and talking about the Harpazo, or the rapture of the church. Is it near? Is Kushner, does he actually have a 7-year peace treaty? 7-year. And I don't think anyone really knows that, although everyone is saying that. I don't think anyone knows that at this time. But Daniel 9:27, and he will confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. That will be whoever signs the peace treaty. Whoever signs the peace treaty. Now, look at this. In the midst of that week, 3.5 years in that week, he shall cause the sacrifice to cease. Why is that? Because then he sets his own foot into the tabernacle and demands to be worshipped. You don't need a sacrifice anymore. You need me. I'm God. Now, we're talking about two different people here. We're talking about Daniel 9:27. He will confirm, he'll sign a peace treaty for 7 years with the Jews. But in the middle of that 7 years, another one will come forward. That is the false prophet. He's the one. Satan is the one that wants to be worshipped by you, by everybody. So we need to include these things while we're thinking about, is this the treaty that's going to take us home? And that's Thessalonians 4:13. Is this the one that's going to take the church out of the way? Well, there's a lot here to look at, a lot to study, a lot to ponder, but I don't see anything at this time that indicates that Jared Kushner will have a flat 7-year peace treaty. I don't see that. And I don't believe anyone else has seen that either. And keep in mind, when the Antichrist takes a treaty, he'll take one that's been on the table that doesn't have a 7-year clause in it. And he'll just take one he likes. So, you know what? Let's do this one. But we'll include 7-year peace. I think that's how that will come about. But there's a lot more to it than just that. And keep in mind, a lot of people are going to be confused starting now, and we'll be all the way through this thing, like Matthew 24:24 tells us. Even the very elect would be deceived if it were possible. A lot of people will be deceived. And then you have the numbers of people that will really be left behind and not raptured out. Have you thought about that? Excuse me. God sends 2 witnesses. And I bet you these 2 witnesses won't leave that site where the temple is their entire time in Israel. No one can hurt them. They can try, but they will get hurt back. The witnesses won't get hurt, but those who try to hurt them will get hurt. And that'll go on for 3.5 years. And besides that, there's 144,000 male virgin Jews throughout the planet witnessing to everyone left. So we've not seen we've heard of the two witnesses, and of course we won't see or know anything about the 144,000 until after the rapture of the church has taken place. There's so much here to look at, so much here to ponder, so many things that are getting people so uptight and excited right now, saying that, look guys, by mid-May we're gone. You know what? I wish that was the case. I would love to be out of here mid-May, or earlier than that as far as that goes. So there's a lot here that people are pointing at Kushner. I mean, at all angles, pointing at the tribe he's from. I think that's the tribe of Dan. And he is a orthodox. He's just, he's a die-hard. I don't believe in anything except the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible. So there's a lot there. And if he believes in the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible and adheres to it, then that would almost rule out the false prophet. I mean, the Antichrist, don't you think? Well, there's a lot that can happen. There's a lot that's going to happen. And I am saying this as far as a timetable. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. I believe we will still see Trump reelected in 2020 for 4 years. Now, whether we will be here that 4 years, I don't know. I think a lot will still have to come together. And we're talking about, or I was, about the sacrifices have started. Well, I spoke out of place when I said that. They have had live sacrifices. But whether they're ongoing day by day by day, I don't know. And I can't find anything about that says they are. And the world of animal lovers are going to be all over them for doing that anyway. And they'll keep that silent as much as possible. But there'll have to be a waiver in there. They'll have to continue that for 3.5 years, like it or not. So there's a lot there, a lot to look at. Too many people throwing too much at you at one time. And I just want to say this. Just remember that 1 Thessalonians, or Thessalonians 4:13, right there, it's a catching away. The church has been removed. Then it begins. Make sure you're in that first ride out. And make sure that your heart, make sure that your life is ready to go should you have an accident tonight. Guys, there's a lot that's going to happen. We're truly in the very end of the very end days. I can't see beyond, really, I can't see beyond 4 to 5 more years. And one last thing I want to mention, and this one, of all that I've heard, this one I can believe in. Cyrus and Trump, you see the picture on the same coin, right? And on the back of that coin, you have the temple. I believe it's highly likely that Trump may be asked to build that temple. Whether he will do it and send a team in, I don't know. I believe he will be offered first right of refusal to build that temple. Whether he takes it or not, I don't know. But it's going to happen, and it's going to happen soon. And guys, everyone, please be ready. But all this talk about Kushner being the Antichrist, I wouldn't rush to that judgment. And you know, you're taking Kushner and Trump, putting them together and making them out almost like, well, not bad guys, but Trump knew this all along, and he knew who Kushner was. No. Trump, even Trump, can fall back on Matthew 24:24. Even the very elect will be deceived. No one knows until it happens. But again, bet on one thing, it's close. Very close. Jody will expose.